In Meditations, Book 8:1, Marcus Aurelius offers one of his most powerful reflections on happiness. He writes, "Finding happiness is not a pursuit of momentary pleasures, but an inner journey of self-mastery and self-discovery. It resides in virtue and in the acceptance of the things we cannot control. By cultivating inner tranquility and contentment with the present, we discover that true happiness is independent of circumstances. Happiness is a conscious choice to live in harmony with our nature and with the flow of life, recognizing that genuine satisfaction emerges from a commitment to virtue." These words are a profound reminder that happiness is not found out there, but within us. Marcus Aurelius invites us to reflect. Are we not confusing happiness with pleasure? How often do we believe we will only be happy once we achieve something, buy something, or gain the approval of others? What he shows us is that this way of thinking makes us slaves to circumstances. If happiness depends on something that can change or be lost, then it will never be solid. True happiness, according to Stoicism, is independent of what happens outside. It is born from the inner cultivation of virtue and serenity. When Marcus Aurelius speaks of self-mastery, he reminds us that ruling over ourselves is the key. Those who cannot govern their own desires, fears, and impulses will always be enslaved by them. Many spend their lives chasing momentary pleasures, fleeting entertainment, endless consumption, distractions that ease the mind for a moment, but never sustain the soul. And when he speaks of self-discovery, he points us toward something just as essential. We must look within to understand what we truly seek. How many of us have realized that after finally getting something we longed for, the joy quickly faded and we soon felt empty again? This happens because we confuse pleasure with happiness. Pleasure is temporary. Happiness, according to Marcus Aurelius, is lasting because it comes from living in harmony with virtue. For the Stoics, virtue means living according to reason, nature, and justice. It is not only knowing what is right, but acting on it. When we choose virtue, we find tranquility because we know we have done what depends on us, and we accept with serenity what does not. Here we reach another essential point: acceptance. Acceptance does not mean passivity or giving up on life. It means recognizing the limits of what we can control. Fighting against what cannot be changed only leads to frustration. Happiness arises when we learn to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not, and when we live at peace with that truth.
Marcus Aurelius also speaks of contentment with the present. How often do we postpone happiness into the future? We think, I'll be happy when I have this or when I reach that place. But when the moment comes, we immediately move the target further ahead. It becomes an endless race. The Stoics remind us, happiness is not in the future, it is here, now, in the present. It is a conscious choice to value what we already have. This choice is powerful. For Marcus Aurelius, happiness is not luck, not destiny, not chance. It is a deliberate decision. To decide to live in harmony with our nature, to align ourselves with the flow of life, to cultivate virtue every day. And when we live this way, satisfaction becomes deep and stable. It is not a fleeting joy that disappears at the first difficulty, but a steady serenity that accompanies us even in life's storms. Think for a moment. How many times have you chased happiness in something external, only to see it vanish quickly? Now imagine if your happiness did not depend on anything outside you, but only on the character and virtue you cultivate. That is freedom. That is inner strength. That is what Marcus Aurelius teaches us. Today's reflection is an invitation. Look less outward and more inward. Ask yourself, where am I placing my happiness? In circumstances I cannot control, or in the virtue I can cultivate each day? Because in the end, true happiness is not about chasing pleasures, but about living in peace with your own conscience, in harmony with life, and in commitment to virtue. So remember, happiness is not a distant prize to be pursued. It is something we build, step by step, within ourselves. It is a choice renewed every day, each time we decide to live with dignity, kindness, freedom, and justice. And as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, this is a happiness that no one can take away, because it does not depend on circumstances, but on who we are. If this reflection spoke to you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel to receive daily messages inspired by Stoic wisdom. Leave a like to support this project and share in the comments what happiness means to you today. Your participation helps strengthen this community of people seeking to live with more balance, serenity, and wisdom.